never slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no...
To the number 17, the white helmeted Yaroslav Karpushin. He comes alongside it, top 19 or so.
Carter Thompson up into 12th place, yes. Very nearly nil point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Akui.
Side by side, Iriarte and Karpushin now, as there are just 8 laps remaining.
Today he finished up in 6th position. That is a really, really good ride from the real shame because, wow, what a blockbuster of a finish, a real spill.
We've gone past half distance.
Australian up from 12th position. He was said, it's all right. Yeah, and I bet it is. The Hilberg thriller we were in for with all 3 of them. We're still in for one in general, but how good would it have been? Well, this leading group now has become about 17 riders worth. The only rider, anything less than a podium is not satisfactory for Carter.
No, indeed. He needs to just have...
With top 3 in the championship, all battling out for the top 3 positions in the final part. The riders not in it. Armon and Yane and Danish at the moment then.
That great result at the end of the season that he's, he had some really superb wins and of course...
Part of the race. Still 5 laps to go, a fair way. We'll keep an eye on Danish. He's up in a 4, so he's in a massive leading group compared to the sort of lap times they were putting in qualifying and things.
It's a winner, in race 2, so he's got to get back to that sort of form.
The step up that Carter Thompson 14th at the moment.
And it looked to me, Danish did a 1:49.
So this is sort of lap times that we were seeing in free practice 2 actually, Peter. This year has been very noticeable. Australia certainly has another name to cheer for.
Most of the guys ran to a 1:45, so that means it cost him, it cost him 4 seconds.
With the worn tyres. Exactly.
Yeah, with the worn tyres which they use for practices.
For in the future in World Championships.
Of course, it's his 3rd season, so he will not be back in the rookie. That long lap penalty.
Yeah, it really is. It is a proper penalty. Make no mistake. That's what qualifying a 1:28.0 from Karpushin. So
he's cut next season.
Another Holmes has gone down. Oh, that is such a shame. You can't take the nick with the track limits because it will ruin your race potentially. Or in this case, yes, the tyre's distinctly a bit more worn now.
Yes, indeed. Okay, there have. But it's his 6th fall in a race in a Rookies Cup race this season. So back with the leader.
It could potentially ruin your championship.
Side by side, then briefly they are. But Brian is talking of Karpushin, the pole man. There he is heading the pack. And Brian Iriarte in 2nd. It is Brian Iriarte, the cap champion, ahead of the number 11 of David Gonzalez. So quick into that right-hander.
Gonzalez has recovered. Gonzalez
in place. And it may well be that we've just got to pause those.
David Gonzalez 2nd, Pugliese 3rd. Pratama has recovered, he's in 3rd place now then. A brilliant move up the inside of Karpushin at the...
Calm and nerves a little bit and wait to see how it unfolds at the end of the race.
Then Danish in 5th place. Malaysia versus Indonesia for 2nd in the championship. An ultimate turn, and he had such a great drive through there that he's almost catching up to both.
Down the waterfall, Marco Morelli takes into 3rd place there. Picks up the slipstream. Brian Iriarte.
We remind you, 1 point between them.
Elbows out.
Literally, yeah. Ada and Brian out front at 1:44, the first one that we've seen of the race so far.
And the other.
Oh, goodness me.
You can't name it. Okay, so Brian still has the advantage, but up in the 2nd place, Guilia Pugliese.
And Danish move far then, and it is Gonzalez on a mission. Here is Hakim Danish.
Calm your nerves. Benyat Fernandez on the number 7 sweeps up the inside, briefly takes.
He's up on Pratama there into turn 1. A very nice, tight but clean move from the Malays. 14th place at the moment. He is closing steadily on the riders in front of him.
The lead, but well, who's in front? I can't tell you who's in front. Right, it is still number 7 Benyat Fernandez.
And then really nice indeed.
Oh my.
But I don't think it's going to be enough.
No, he's lapping at a very similar pace.
Goodness me, just there was a variety of lines there, wasn't there? I mean, this is the case that we're seeing now. Peter is riding.
Goodness gracious me, and those damp patches, it's still cool, of course, those damp patches are hanging around, but for the men in front, but of course he's got to go quicker. It's almost the same lap time as Uriarte and Pratama.
He's not wanting to lead behind intentionally. I mean, it's getting very messy now. It's as if a lot of them, they don't really want to...
There's mostly a dry line, but you just got to be careful you don't get offline. Maybe that limits some of the over in the front.
He can only hope for some misfortune to befall the two title rivals ahead of Bede coming down the start and finish straight. They want to be the ones doing the dive bombing, not the ones getting dive bombed, and it was Ramadipa
taking possibilities.
Pugliese had a big moment on the exit of turn 6 there, loses a bunch of place in, which is always in the realms of possibility, but they are looking very, very strong. The biggest dive bomb of them all, but it's going to be Morelli who goes through the front, and that is Kehebatanya. Danish then into second place ahead of Pratama then. So it's 1, 2, 3 in the strong out front, both Uriarte and Pratama. They have basically been in the top 3, 4 positions the entire wide, getting all crossed up. It's Morelli leading the way from Ramadipa in second place. Championship 1, 2, 3 in the race, but off along as Matani gets sideways into turn 8 then. I have raced the only riders to do so. They are just on another level here. Yes. Now, that is why then they don't want to be the one that's getting dive bombed into turn 1. So we are moving up into 4th position, the Japanese rider. How about this as an advert for the Asia talent?
So, Uriarte. Now, this is the opposite, of course, of what happened yesterday, which was Veda lead.
Seeing more silly sort of antics in the penultimate corners.
There's another, a thinker we haven't talked too much about.
Talent Cup 3, 2, 3 and 4 Asia Talent Cup graduates.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Great leading all the way. And Brian Uriarte watching what he was doing, where he was going, and picking just the right. I think it's back in 11th place. It's the 54 of Veda Pratama. And I can just imagine he is the sort of guy stuff. And it is the 54 now that takes up the second place, Veda Pratama. Right moment on the last lap to pass. Now this time it's Veda who is watching Brian, who's sitting there in the middle of the pack, not wanting to do anything too dramatic, and going to wait to see how things unfold. Of course, as things finish like this, he would take second place back from hand to see where the Spaniard is quickest.
Morelli's also recovered then after being completely pushed wide. Carlo Thompson's another one of those riders, I reckon, Peter. He was in 8th crossing the line, but found himself way up.
Akim Danish in the cup points.
I should also correct myself. Those are the 3 Asia Talent Cup champions the last a few laps ago now. He's kept it calm. He's back up to 4th position. He's now a lead front. After that, goodness me. That was, oh no, who was that? It was a +3 years as well up there as well. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Superb.
In quartet, you've got Beñat Fernandez leading the chasers just behind, but how much tyre is he going wide? It was somebody else then. Could have been
right, but Brian now has an advantage of what it was.
It's used up, coming all the way from the back of the grid towards the front now as they go. Thingapong actually, he's down into 7th place now. I think it was Mike Hugh, unfortunately.
Right.